Welcome to Studio Chat, an entertainment talk show covering movies, TV, music, and more. Chelsea here with a special guest, best known for her well-loved role of Rosie Greenbaum on Laverne Shirley, also an actress always memorable in TV and film alike. Carole Ita White, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm actually quite honored to be on your show.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor for me to have you on my show. I mean, I know you have a very well-rounded career, a lot of roles that I'd love to discuss with you, but I do have to say Laverne and Shirley is truly one of my favorite shows of all time. So it makes me very happy to see you proudly wear the big Rosie Greenbaum title to this day.
She was a great character, that Rosie boy. You couldn't
Definitely.
get her way, right?
For sure. And I feel like your chemistry with Penny Marshall in that role, it was just so much fun watching the two of you.
It's like, yeah, boom. It was just like perfect. Her and me. Boom, boom, boom.
When an actor first takes on a role, I mean, it's impossible to know how long it will last, what kind of impact it might have in the beginning. But when did you first start to realize that this show and character would have such a lasting legacy to it?
Hmm. Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but okay, so Laverne and Shirley came on at mid-season, what they used to call mid-season. They'd have two seasons, fall season and mid-season. And Laverne and Shirley came on mid-season. You know, they first were a spinoff of Happy Days. So in their first half season, I was not Big Rosie. I was tough girl in pool hall.
That's right. That's right.
And, you know, I don't know, it was one of these, I'm going to rip that L right off of your chest. You do, honey, I'll send your teeth to Peoria. And, the network, Gary, Penny, everybody in charge said, oh, this is good. Laverne can have someone to fight with, not instead of Cindy, and the two can team up against the obstacle, this kind of thing. So then in the fall, they brought me back. Paula Roth was the writer of my introductory episode. A wonderful comedy writer, Paula Roth. Anyway, Big Rosie made her entrance.
That's wonderful. I mean, I loved that it was kind of like a slight introduction, and we got that sense of Rosie, even though she wasn't named Rosie, the character was already there. You brought that to the table right out of the gate, and that was wonderful. And then it was so much fun to see, you develop the character further as the series went on.
Yeah, she was, she became easy to write for, as they say. Bimbo, she marries a rich proctologist. She has one funny line, proctology, he followed a dream, Ogden was his name. After the first Big Rosie episode I did, the president of ABC, Freddie Silverman, ordered me my own show. He loved Rosie. He loved him some Rosie. And for a different episode, I'll tell you what happened, or you can read about it in my soon-to-be-released book.
Ooh, okay, here's a new topic. Definitely want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, no, but anyway, that show became Angie, starring Donna Pescow.
Really?
And the story between what happened to Big Rosie's show and how it became Angie would make the hair on the back of your neck stand up straight. Just saying. You've heard of vicious Hollywood stories, right?
Of course.
This was one to beat the band. Anyway, so there I was, had my contract canceled, and I didn't really know why after I did 7 episodes, I believe. And then they called me when the fall season started up again. And they said, well, we're not going to bring Carole back for the week. We're just going to have her for 3 days. And when I came on, I signed 7-year contract. First year, 1,500 an episode. Second year, 2,500 an episode. In those days, it was, for me, a lot of money, right? So I call my agent and say, we want Carole back only for 3 days and only for $1,500.
Wow.
And so my agent says this to me, and I said, you can tell them thank you. No, thank you.
Mm.
Right? After dropping my contract for God
Yeah,
knows
that's
the
interesting.
reason. And so next day I get a phone call. Carole, Penny, don't you want to do the show anymore? I said, Penny, the second year I'm supposed to make $2,500. Meanwhile, the girls are making $12,000 an episode or something outrageous like that. They deserved it. They were the stars, right? Okay. We hang up. My agent calls me and says, okay, they want you for $2,500. And that was my last episode. I did it. Phil Foster, who played Penny's father,
Yes.
came into me and said, well, they're afraid you're going to become another Fonzie. So they don't.
Wow. That's interesting. I mean, I believe it, especially because you were en route to having your own series. Of course, I'm not surprised that your character took off and you, of course, in the role, but that's interesting. I did not know any of that backstory.
Yeah, I never said it out loud in public, too. I mean, my dearest friends, close people to me know, and my family, my friends, and whatever. It doesn't matter. It's part of the rear view mirror. What a part of my life. You know what they say? If it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. This was a role I loved doing so much. I would have paid them to let me be Rosie.
Oh,
Fit me like a glove. If you've seen those episodes, you know what I mean.
of course. No, you were perfect.
So they had me back so many years later for the reunion show.
That's right.
And I got to work with Lynne Marie Stewart, who I went to high school with, and she played Miss Yvonne on Pee-wee's, Playhouse, Miss Yvonne with the big boofy hair. You could interview her. I'll introduce you to her, honey. Okay?
Oh, perfect. Yes, I'd love to.
She's so lovely too. Anyway, she was in the reunion episode, and like I say, she was a pom-pom girl when we were in real high school together.
That's funny.
Right?
Real and fictional high schools you both shared.
Right. And so Big Rosie came back, anyway. And I did a lot of interesting things after Rosie. My father used to say to me, I was in a movie with, let me see if I can remember, Richard Belzer, Louis Anderson, Tim Thomerson, Richard Lewis, and it was pretty silly comedy, right? And I took my father, who was an actor, to see it. And he said, Carole, when I was on the screen, it was like, oh my God. Actors have to work. You have to pay the rent. They can't all be gone with the wind or whatever.
True.
Anyway, I'm yakking on.
Oh, no, it's great. I mean, I'm glad you brought up your father as well. I mean, showbiz does run in your family, your father, Jesse White, and bringing you around that Hollywood life. Do you feel that he was a big influence on you getting into acting, or was it the sort of thing you saw and wanted to get into yourself anyway?
That's a good question. There was never a doubt in my mind that I was an actor, that I was going to be an actor. He wouldn't let me near real life show business when I was a kid, though. He worked on a show called Make Room for Daddy, the
That's
original Danny Thomas show. and Marjorie Lord, Rusty Hamer, Sherry Jackson, and the delightfully delightful Angela Cartwright, the cutest kid in the world. And so he would take me to the studio, and I'd see him joking around with Angela Cartwright, and I'd want to be on the show, you know. And so he'd say, wait till you're 7, wait till you're 7, wait till you're 8, wait till 8. It wasn't until I was an adult, already in college, you know, I did plays in Sunday school. My very first play was a Richard Dreyfuss. We went to the same Sunday school. It was a Hanukkah.
Okay.
It was a Hanukkah play. I was Luella the Latka. He was Thomas the Shamus.
That's
The
funny.
Shamus is the Hanukkah candle that lights all the others.
Yes.
And of course, latkes are potato pancakes.
Right. That's fun. So you started with mostly like theater acting to start then.
Just Sunday school. Then
Okay.
I sang in the choir in grade school. It saved my life. Just because I wanted to express either singing or acting in Sunday school plays, and then high school plays, and then college plays. And
You caught the
I said,
acting
oh,
bug.
that's it. But, you know, it was always like, I mean, when Disneyland, believe it or not, first opened in Los Angeles, this was back in the 1950s, before you were a gleam in your father's eye. My father was invited because he was a celebrity. So me and my sister are so excited. I don't know, maybe 8, she's maybe 6 or something. We go to Disneyland. We never had to wait in line at Disneyland. Right this way,
Nice.
Mr. White. Right this way, Mr. White. So this always looked good to me, this kind of special treatment, you know, smiling and saying, right this way. So
That's
if I,
fun. What a delight for a kid though. Just plow through Disneyland,
right,
no problem, right? No
right.
waiting, no hanging around, just do everything you want. That's so fun. And I love that you were there for, the opening of it. That's amazing.
Yeah, those were the days.
So a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. You had some sort of some one-off appearances on shows now and again, such as The Love Boat, Love American Style. Those are really fun ones. I mean, The Love Boat in general was such a great concept. Just gather as many figures of TV and film all on the same show as you can and put them all in stories for an hour. I love The Love Boat for that, and getting to
Right?
see, different decades of stars as well. So I'd like to ask you about your experience working on that show.
I'll tell you, remind me. Just so you know, Aaron Spelling, creator of The Love Boat, or it was one of his shows. He was co-creator and executive producer on. I was on the pilot of Starsky and Hutch with Paul Michael Glazer and David Soul. And then years later, I was invited to do another Starsky and Hutch that they flew us first class to Hawaii, and we
Nice.
filmed it on a luxury, like a Love Boat, back to San Francisco. And this, even though there was a pilot this was the whole first brainstorm for the Love Boat, right? Because of
Interesting.
the 2-part Starsky and Hutch was Jose Ferrer and Ed Begley Jr. Oh, and I was traveling with my mother, the great Broadway actress Kay Medford. She played my mother on The American Style and Starsky. And, oh, it was such an honor. But anyway, so yeah, she was my mother, and I did in the talent show Bertha Zelinka Tops and Taps. I did a tap dance in a sailor outfit. Very much fun. This was right before Big Rosie. And all the people on the steam line, because they had real people traveling on this boat, which was a miracle, mixing with actors.
Exactly. And while filming.
While filming. And so they saw me do my talent show, and they said, what can we do for you? I said, write ABC and say, oh, Carole, why should have her own show? And so they did. And then I did that Laverne and Shirley and
Just the sort of things just play out in that order, right? That's so
right.
funny.
And the Love Boat episode that I did, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I was glad to be on it. I guess I worked with Shelley Long, I think Barbie Benton, Hugh Hefner's girlfriend was in that episode. Mitzi McCall, the great Mitzi McCall. Charlie Brill and Mitzi McCall were a comedy team, and Mitzi was on it. And I say Shelley Long, they had like computer dating. And
That's right.
And
it was a cute episode for sure.
First, I got a guy that was a dud, and then I got the stud. And it was those are the kind of parts I always play. Man hungry women.
And it was also a fun episode because it showed that you can't rely on computers, including in the modern age. Like I love that was like an early precursor to that, because it was like, oh, the computer tried to match everybody up, but it was all mismatched until everybody figured it out for themselves. The real human connection is what actually ended up winning. And I liked that was part of it.
That's right. That's right.
And yeah, Love American Style was another show similar to The Love Boat. It was, gathering a bunch of stars, doing different storylines and skits. So any special memories to share from that show?
Sure. I got to work with John Davidson. I don't know if you know who he is, but when I was your age, John Davidson was a big deal. He was a singer and he was so handsome. And I can't remember what the episode was about, but I worked with him and he was hunkalicious, should I say. Being as flirty as I could. I guess he was married. No interest, whatever. And then I did another episode called Love and the Heavy Set. It was about me, fattish, and my fattish boyfriend. I don't remember who played the boyfriend or what it was about, but body shaming, I guess, was, it was about some sort of,
which is ridiculous and should not have been a thing at all, but
ever. And I don't remember what the third one was. I know I did 3.
Besides the fact there was nothing to shame about your body. I mean, that's preposterous to even, put you in that role, but
right.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, such as, some 70s media in particular, 70s, 80s had some elements of that. And, thankfully we see a lot less of that now. So
thank goodness.
Yes.
And while I have your attention, dear girl, it is up to you and your listeners, every woman and man listening, not to let America go down the drain. Don't let them take your democracy away, please. I'm at the end of my journey, but you guys are just starting out. Don't let them take your democracy away. Anyway, enough of that.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of topics going on right now, especially in the entertainment world as well, with all kinds of, these, you were just talking about it before the interview, the streaming talks, and there's AI concepts coming into play. I mean, there's a lot of things that people are focusing on now and speaking up about now, which is really, really important.
Really good. And
yes.
It's up to young people to make sure things stay right side up, human rights.
Yes.
I believe women are 51% of the population. So united we stand, and united we stand.
Absolutely. So can you tell me some more about the book that you hinted at a little bit before? How far along in that process are we? Is it coming out soon? You're still writing it? Where are we with that?
Still writing. I'm really actually preparing a solo show to open in Los Angeles this fall. And yep. You shall be invited, my dear.
Thank you. I shall be honored.
And Yeah, so it's good fun. And, I tell some stories, as it were, and sing a couple of songs and have some fun. So I'm preparing for that.
That's
And
excellent.
once that is all the material is gelled together, that'll be the basis for my book.
Ah, makes sense. Okay. That's
And I
very
hope to
cool.
take my show on the road, Chicago, New York.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, that'd be very fun. I right about a year or so ago, before Cindy Williams unfortunately way too
I son,
soon passed away. She was doing exactly that. She had a solo show and she was taking on the road, just kind of periods at a time. She would go out on a small tour, come back, go out again. And I had the fortune of seeing her at her Palm Springs show. And it was so much fun. It was so interactive. She told so many stories from her whole career, from Laverne and Shirley, did some
oh,
songs. Yeah, it was a one-woman show and it was wonderful. I loved seeing that.
I'm glad you got to see it. That's so special.
Definitely, no, it felt
She
very
was very,
special.
very sweet. That's my 2 cents. She was very sweet and a very good actor.
Definitely. And it's funny because she, her character of Shirley is so sweet. And then it seems like she was like that in real life as well, for sure.
And she was bestest friends with this Lynne Marie Stewart, who was Miss Yvonne on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Okay,
So
so
when
another connection there.
you interview Lynne Marie, yeah, she could talk about Cindy. They were besties of besties. So
Oh, that's fun. So, I mean, we've been speaking about the fun roles that you've had over the years on different TV shows, but looking back, what do you feel has been the most challenging role you've ever had to do? Something that challenged you to step into it?
that's a good question. I'd say they're all equally as challenging.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'll tell you the challenge is when you audition for a part, let's say, okay, here's an example. I was in uh I was in a movie called Falling Down with Michael Douglas and Barbara Hershey. I played a uniform LAPD who comes out to Barbara Hershey's house because she's had some kind of threat. And I learned my lines. And Joel Schumacher, great director who directed a lot of things. I knew him from acting class of all things, but he cast me. I learned my lines. But instead of just being able to stand and talk, I had to come, knock on the door, talk and walk at the same time. Lines were flying this way, lines were flying that way. It was like I had to, it's like you think it's going to be done one way and you're secure, and then boom, something peculiar happens. Something like that. Well, I worked with Barbra Streisand. That was one of my
Ah.
huge thrills. I was in a movie with her called Up the Sandbox. Up the Sandbox. It was a feminist movie, and it's known as her first flop. Not that she had
Oh.
any flops, but she'd come off of Hello Dolly and Funny Girl. And this was, as I say, a feminist. It was a comedy, but with feminist overtones. Anyway, I played her babysitter, Bernice Spittelmeister, and I had to take my clothes off and have sex with my chemistry partner in the movie. And I'm thinking to myself, you're going to get to work with Barbra Streisand. You're going to get to work with Barbra Streisand. Oh, well, you take your clothes off. It's not going to be like, they're not going to see anything, really gross, gross, gross. So I go to Palm Springs before I had to shoot, right, to get a tan, trying to think I'm going to be tan, right, for my nude scene. I've never had a tan in my whole life. I come
Same.
back with these huge sunburn welts all over my
Oh
body.
no.
I know, yes. I have to. Okay, so I'm Miss Spittlemeister. I come with my books. Come in, Miss Spittlemeister, have chicken. I say my organic chemistry partner going is coming, good, good, blah, blah, blah. And then they go to a party, they get in a fight, they come back. She opens her bedroom door. I'm on top of my organic chemistry partner. Her joke is Miss Spittlemeister is finishing her organic punchline, and you could see my right boob in the movie. But the guy that is playing my organic chemistry partner was an extra, sweating bullets. He's like, I could slide off of him. I think I had my pants on. I don't know, but she called me into her dressing room during the lunch break. Does your mother know you're taking your clothes off? I said, yes, she's very excited for me. I said, to work with you. Anyway, she was always real friendly. I'd see her Barbara drive around town. She used to have a license plate that say BJS, Barbara Jones Streisand. And if we were at a red light, she'd say, hi, Carol, how are you? And I would be like, that's Barbara Streisand talking to me.
That's great. That's so fun. And that's funny how she would announce herself with her car, literally on the license plate.
Right.
Yeah,
those were the days.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like it was, a lot more, I don't want to say open, but just, I feel like nowadays when it comes to celebrities, there's a lot more, they have to keep themselves private. They have to keep themselves safe. And I feel like it was just a little more like, yeah, just drive around town with your name on your license plate. Kind of different kind of feel back then.
Definitely.
So also at a point when we were talking before the interview, you mentioned the Troubadour, which is, of course, a staple of Los Angeles, historic venue, and how you've seen some fantastic shows there, including Elton John. So I wonder if you could talk about just your Troubadour memories a bit.
Well, let's see. Yeah, the Troubadour. Well, we would go to the Troubadour. I'm trying to think of maybe I saw James Taylor there. I know I saw Laura Nero there every time she'd come to Los Angeles. If you don't know her, look her up. NYRO, Laura Nero. She was the greatest songwriter and singer. She's passed. Yeah, I'd go with my friends. I guess it would be after I was 16. After I was 16. Yeah, there was no liquor, and I don't think we were smoking pot back then either. I could be naive and not know, but anyway. That was a good time.
It's a great venue. So many big names have hit that venue. So many big names started at that venue. So I feel like, it's definitely an important part of LA history for sure.
Right.
That's great. So, I mean, also, I know I saw through your social media that you recently, I'm not sure how recently, might have been last year, did a play production of Harvey, which is so fun.
That was 2019.
Oh, okay. All right. I looked at
with French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun. He played Elwood Dowd, Elwood P. Dowd, the character Jimmy Stewart played in the movie. And it was so much fun. And his wife, who's a brilliant playwright and writer and actor, Vanessa Stewart, she played his sister. And I played a socialite from, a socialite that his sister's trying to impress. Anyway, great fun. It was at the Laguna Playhouse, beautiful venue in Laguna Beach, California.
Laguna Beach is lovely. I haven't actually been to the Playhouse yet, but I love that area of Orange County for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. So, I mean, taking us up to the present day, since I jumped back a few years to 2019, can you just tell us what you've been up to recently and just any kind of upcoming projects, anything you want to promote?
Yes. Well, mainly for the past few years, it's pandemic. Who thought you'd spend your golden years going through this odyssey known as the pandemic? Woo, baby. But it has allowed me to get to know myself better, appreciate myself and others. I am writing my music for my solo show and getting support from friends. And right now I'm with my boyfriend in Oregon. When I get back to LA, I will be putting the show together, and then sometime, hopefully around Thanksgiving, it will be up in LA, and you will be the first to know about it, girl.
Sounds great. Definitely something to look forward to. And then your book beyond that will be a lot of fun to read, I'm sure. It's been really wonderful just getting a taste of the stories and things to come further in your book, which we've definitely got to keep an eye out for. And just wonderful spending time with you here today. So thank you so much for joining me.
Chelsea, thank you for having me, and I wish you a great, great, great career, and shine on, star.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so wonderful.